Good morning, welcome to the Sunday Sunshine Show. My name's Marie, if you're new to my channel, and if you're an oldie but goldie, then welcome back. Every Sunday I do a collaboration with two other British ladies, Tina from Tina's Talk Time and Maria from Maria Crocker. Now every Sunday we pick a completely different topic and we all put our own spin on it. So for instance, if we choose a topic called kitchen, one of us might be cooking in the kitchen, one of us might be decorating our kitchen, and one of us might be doing a declutter in the kitchen. So we all put our own spin on the same topic. So this week we are doing what we like to call a potluck. So that means we're all gonna do a completely different video. Now, Tina's doing a shopping video. I'm going to do a part 2 to a question and answer. And Maria's not actually doing a video this week because she's on vacation in Greece. So she's done quite a few Greece videos already. So pop on over and do a catch up on any Greece videos that she may have put out for this week. So now let's introduce you to Tina and Maria. It looks like I'm videoing in the evening. It's not. It's Saturday morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and it's so dark outside. The clouds are very, very low. There's lots of rain. There's thunder and lightning. So we are, you might hear some bangs in the background. So I should probably do a little introduction to myself and explain who I am because I have some new subscribers. Thanks to Nana M because she did a fantastic shout out. She did a really interesting vlog where she talked about the YouTubers that she watches, but I like the way she broke it up. I thought it was very interesting and a good way to do that style of video. So I am going to link Nana M's channel in my description box. And if you haven't heard of Nana M, she is an over 50 lifestyle channel and loves to do fashion and cooking and outs and abouts. Shop with me's. So a huge thank you to Lynn. Thanks so much. I really, really do appreciate it. My name's Marie. I'm over 50. I'm soon to be 57 in June. I am originally from Wiltshire and I moved to Las Vegas because of my husband's job. Moved us there back in 1998. And we literally just moved to Dallas 4 months ago. We arrived here the last week of November and so far I'm loving it. I met my husband at 19, he was 30 and that was back in 1989. So yeah, we've been together for quite a while now. So let's jump into the first question. How do you stay mentally sharp? Well, I'm not sure I am mentally sharp. I have noticed that I do forget a lot of stuff lately and I'm not sure whether that's age related. Yeah, I'm not sure I am mentally sharp, but I do like to learn something new every day and I usually do that via YouTube. I do watch a lot of A Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett's channel. I find his interviews really, really interesting and I do like to watch little snippets of health channels, whether it's the doctor talking or whether it's someone over 50 giving some advice that they've started something new and they've learnt something from it. I will pick up on that and then introduce that into my little life. So one of them is, I'll talk about this in my vlog on Monday, but I'm gonna try a foot bath with some Epsom salts. So that's something new that I've picked up to help detox the body. Anyway, next question. What do you think 20-somethings should do? There is something that I wish I had done, and I don't think anyone ever talked about it back then. So when I was 20, what would that be? In the early 90s. And that is, I would have done a life plan. I really wish I had done that, and I wish I'd sat down with my husband and done a life plan. Now obviously things in life change and you have to change direction and you know, but to start off with a life plan, I think that would have been a really good thing to do. I think if you meet someone and you plan to marry, I think that's an important thing to do because my husband and I were absolutely on total opposite pages. When I met him, I made it quite clear, you know, I'm quite happy to stay living in England, and That's what he told me he was going to do. However, I think he had other plans, but obviously that's not what ended up happening. Now, his job did move us to America, but his job was only contracted for another 18 months. And I did say, you know, if I stay in England for 18 months, you go back to America and then come back again. But he didn't want to do that. So I had to make a life decision. Either I stayed in England by myself forever, or I pick up and moved to America with him. So yes, that's how I ended up in America. It wasn't my first choice, but you know, sometimes you've got to make those changes and sacrifices. So I feel I have compromised quite a bit. We stayed in Las Vegas for 27 years, which was definitely, if I had a choice to move anywhere in America, it would have been one of two places. First choice would have been San Diego. Second place would have been Florida. But we stayed in Vegas for 27 years, and we moved to Texas, and that was a compromise because I asked, could we move to Florida? Couldn't afford to move to San Diego now. Oh my gosh, it's way out of our budget. But he still did not want to move to Florida. So Texas was a compromise, and I love it. So it all worked out. What keeps you motivated today? Well, life is short. And I lost 7 family members in literally a space of 5 years, going back a few years now, and it really does make you realize that life is short. You know, all the aunts and uncles, your parents, a brother, you know, it was a tough little span of life there to get through. You realize that all of a sudden you're in your 50s, and yet it was only yesterday I was in my 20s. It really does speed up. And you just got to make the most of it. I always use this analogy of when I'm in old age, if I make it to old age, I picture myself sitting on a rocking chair on a veranda looking back at my life and thinking, well, what did I do with my life? And I've done a lot of things. I'm 56 right now, and I've done a lot of things already, but I'm not prepared to stop yet. There's still so much more to do, and I just love life, and I love doing things. I love staying busy. And I think a lot of people sit around and wait for things to happen, whereas I'm someone that makes things happen. More effort you put into life, the more you get out of it. That's another little saying that I have. And also my other saying is, expect the unexpected. You know, you go on this trajectory of life, and all of a sudden something will happen. And you just gotta learn to swivel or pivot and go in a different direction and make the most of that direction. So that's how I stay motivated, knowing that life is short and you just gotta make the most of it. Why did you start a YouTube channel? Well, I'll touch on this really quickly because I've actually talked about this before, and it was during lockdown, and I was working full time, loved my job, loved my position in my company. But I did wonder, how long was this COVID gonna last? Was it gonna ever come back? You know, were we gonna lose our jobs permanently? And I started watching YouTube to stay connected to England, because of course no planes were flying, suddenly couldn't go anywhere, and I felt this desire to be connected to England. So I started watching YouTube, and I found a lot of channels, and one of them was Mrs. Caroline's. And I thought, you know what, it's not just for the youngsters. Us 50-somethings and 60-somethings and 70-somethings and beyond can have YouTube, and we can stay connected to the outside world via YouTube. But it did take me 2 years past, I think I started in 2022, 2 years past COVID for me to actually pick up the courage to do my first video, and I haven't looked back since. I've really enjoyed doing it. I found Tina via YouTube, and we started the Sunday Sunshine Show. It was me, Tina, and Geordie Grandma, Karen, and then we found Maria, and we asked Maria to join us. So for 2 years or a year and a half, there was 4 of us, and then Karen decided to take her channel in a slightly different direction. So now it's just Tina, myself and Maria, and we've got no plans to stop, so we're just going to keep on going until we, I guess, run out of ideas. What's one message you would want to leave your audience with? Well, I would say it was the motivation. Stay motivated, stay positive. If you feel any way negative, put on your TV, watch something that's going to make you laugh. If you're ill in any way, put the TV on. Even if you don't feel like laughing out loud, put something on that's going to make you smile. It really is too short. Life is too short, and you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. This world is a little bit crazy at the moment, and I try to not watch the news. My husband watches it all the time, but I try not to watch the news. I try not to, you know, be absorbed in that right now. And you can make your own little world in your own home. So create a nice environment, create a happy environment. My dogs bring me so much joy, and my garden, when it's sunny, brings me joy. So just write down a list of stuff that anything, people, conversations, TV programs, your home, vacation places, even if you can't afford to go on vacation. One of the best type of YouTube channels that I love to watch is people going on their vacations and taking us with them. I love it, and I think to myself, you know what, I don't need to go there now because I've seen it all, and it brings me joy. I love watching home vlogs, lifestyle vlogs. I just watched Gemma Louise Miles's this week's vlog, and she's preparing for Easter, and she was making Kellogg's cornflakes chocolate rice, not Rice Krispie cakes, but the cornflake cakes, you know, with little mini Easter eggs. That brought me joy because it brought me back to going to school, making them at school, and how good they taste. And I even considered making some, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go out today because it is raining, and that wouldn't bring me joy. So just do things that bring you joy. Again, create that massive list of everything, and every time you feel a little bit, go to that list and do one of those things, and work towards creating an environment in your house that just makes you happy. What is one thing you would love to do in your life? There is one thing that I would like to do, but I honestly don't know whether it will happen. And that is, I would like a small RV and travel to all 50 states in that RV. I don't know whether that will happen. I don't know what I would do with this house. Rent it out for a year maybe? I don't know. Could I drive all around the States? Because I don't trust my husband's driving. I've got 4 dogs in a small RV. Would that work? Probably not. But maybe in the future, who knows? That is something I do like to watch, the RV travel vlogs. And one of them is the Explorers. I'll put their channel in my description box, but they're an English couple. They're based out of Portugal and Spain, but they are currently in Sardinia. They drove their van onto a ferry, took the ferry across to Sardinia, and currently going around there at the moment. But I do think that would be fun. I don't know if that would get old, being in a cramped space. I think it's the showering and washing my hair that I would struggle with the most. But there's another couple, oh gosh, what is their channel? I will look it up, put it in my description box, but it's an Irish couple, and they're in the States at the moment. I love them. They're so much fun to watch. I think that's the only 2 van lifers that I watch. Actually, my husband and I did go look at RVs at one point. It's probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And we did consider, but we didn't really have anywhere to park it at the time. Not that we do here, but I'm sure there are some locations that you can park. There's so much land here in Texas. That's something that we didn't realize. In fact, my husband brought it up yesterday. You know, we were driving down this country road, and there's just land, and they spread all the homes out. And he said, oh, if this was Vegas, they would have jammed 20 homes into that little field there. So I'm sure there is somewhere that you could park up an RV. Guilty pleasure TV or music. Lately on Spotify, I've typed in coffee house jazz, and I'll drive to work listening to that. My husband does not like that music at all. Guilty pleasure TV. I actually did used to like watching the Kardashians, and I watched it not for the drama. I actually watched it because I loved looking at their home, and I think it was Chloe's back garden. I'm pretty sure it was. She had this swing. It was like a sofa, wooden sofa, and she had white tiled floors, white pots, and I think the swing was black, but I just loved it. And I love to watch and get inspiration all the time. I can find inspiration in pretty much anything, but I did used to like watching the Kardashians for their fashion sense too. Not all the time their fashion, but their home. Even when Chloe did the cookie jar and put the cookies in, and she stacked them all nice and neatly, I thought, oh, what a fun way to do your cookies. What was that other show? They used to be on a yacht, and there was a cabin crew, and it followed the life of the cabin crew working on the yacht. And it was all the rich people that would rent it out for a few days. I can't remember what that was called, but that was lovely. Oh my gosh, that killed two birds with one stone. That felt like I was on vacation with them. And then how interesting it was what the staff were expected to do. That actually surprised me that they had to dress up and entertain the families that would rent the yacht. That was quite surprising to me. I thought maybe, you know, serving the food, cooking the food, cleaning the rooms, making sure that the ship was running safe, taking them on shore to the islands. I get all of that, bartending, but to actually like get dressed up and have to entertain them as well, that was a bit of a shocker. So I'll end this video with the last question. How do I want my audience to feel when they've watched one of my videos? And that is just relaxed, chilled, and to put a smile on your face. Because to be quite honest, there are a lot of negative things out there on social media, a lot. I sometimes get caught up in it, scrolling through Instagram of an evening. I took TikTok off my phone completely because that was way over the top with negativity. But yeah, just to know that you've got 15 minutes, half an hour of just sitting down, chilling, and you don't have to think about things, just watch and enjoy. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this question and answer video. From a little Buster down here, he is cuddling me because he doesn't like the thunder. Yeah, Buster, you can say goodbye. Say bye. Bye-bye. Oh, sweetie Petey. He's my Bernie Doodle. So I'd like to say thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the hype button. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on Monday, tomorrow, with a vlog, and it's bye from me. And if you're new to this channel, I always sign off with bye.